You spend days staring into screens. By contrast, we make eye contact and therefore have empathy and a real connection for other human beings. You have hooking up. We have relationships. No old person has ever hooked up in the history of the universe. You swipe right. We live right. Unless you've been living under a particularly soundproof rock, you've probably heard the phrase, "Okay, boomer." I probably don't have to explain this. It's a prepared response for out-of-touch behaviors of the older generations, often including patronizing articles about how young people are literally Hitler. And since it's a phrase of even nominal comedic value on the internet, it's of course lost all fucking meaning. What you might not know about OK Boomer and the generational conflict of the day is that it's part of a long-standing multi-generational tradition. Old people have been complaining about the comparative failings of the Yoth since, like, the birth of Western fucking civilization. There's a great XKCD article about this. Books are gonna ruin the youth, magazines are gonna ruin the youth, fucking chess is gonna ruin the youth. Chess is just Fortnite for people that lived in a pre-Golden Scar era. So in the greater scheme of things, generational conflict is nothing new. You might be thinking, wow, holy shit, you can take quotes of old people and compare them to quotes of even older people and it looks funny. Boomer status destroyed. But wait. While the writer behind OK Boomer, really, here's what needs to be said towards the younger generations, and many like him have already fallen afoul of the cyclical nature of human history, you, yes you, the Zoomer at home watching, while you may comfort yourself with righteousness in the face of your perceived persecution, you remain blissfully unaware that you have already begun to succumb to the inescapable maw of time. Your arrogance dooms you to the shallow grave of 1,000 dead generations whose only legacy is stubbornness and obsolescence. That's where this all gets tricky. You see, there are two parts to generational conflict. On one end, every generation thinks themselves wiser and in some sense purer than the next. On the other, every generation thinks themselves more cutting edge and based than the last. And how do we even get the impression that we are somehow better than other generations? Simple. The older generations look fucking stupid because of the ridiculous shit they say about us. So obviously, our generation is the misunderstood genius class of our time. And these dumbass kids don't understand how to do things right. And thus, the cycle perpetuates itself. So this presents a problem for the humble Zoomer. We all know that the stupid Boomer articles about how the young generations are godless snake people that are going to destroy America are just that. Fucking stupid. But if we play too much into the narrative and jump on the OK Boomer bandwagon, we become the very thing we swore to destroy.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
I mean, seriously, have you read r/teenagers talk about Fortnite? Those motherfuckers aren't even legal adults yet, and they're already little mini boomers. Our generation is already looking down on the youth of the day, and they're not even technically part of a different generation yet. It's like we're doing the join the graveyard of self-destructed generational culture speedrun, any percent glitchless. So what's the point? Boomer articles suck, generational conflict is cyclical, Zoomers are doomed to be boomers, humans are the fucking worst. Why even make this video? I guess the reason is that you, humble viewer, may now join me in the lonely vigil of removing yourself from generational conflict and not inevitably becoming the punchline of next generation's joke, in the hopes that it might not one day be so lonely. I think that some people are starting to become self-aware, and there seems to be a lot more cross-generational empathy than there used to be in some yesteryears. And maybe, one day, humanity as a whole can crawl out of our inane cycle of infighting and turn our attention to more important things. Like, I don't know, fucking California dancing raisins or something. Thanks for watching.
Now, how about drums? An instrument everybody loves.